On September 30th, 2023, a government shutdown was averted when Congress passed and President Biden signed into law a stopgap funding bill. This bill funds the government at current levels until November 17th, 2023, giving lawmakers more time to negotiate a longer-term spending bill. If a government shutdown were to occur, it would have affected the payment of government employees, meaning that most of the nearly 2.2 million federal employees plus the 1.3 million active duty troops would not have been paid, regardless of whether they were working or not. Since the establishment of the current budget process in 1976, the U.S. government has experienced a total of 20 funding gaps, resulting in 10 shutdowns of varying durations. Before the 1980s, funding gaps did not typically lead to government shutdowns, as agencies would continue to operate with the expectation of future funding. However, since 1981, funding gaps have more frequently resulted in full or partial shutdowns. The most recent government shutdown took place in 2019, lasting for a record-breaking 34 days. This shutdown was primarily triggered by disagreements over former President Donald Trump's proposal to fund and construct a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border.
Okay, we'll build the wall, but who's gonna pay for the wall? Who?
It became the longest shutdown in U.S. history, surpassing the previous record set in 1995 to 1996, which lasted for 21 days. A government shutdown occurs when the federal government's funding runs out, typically due to Congress failing to pass or the president refusing to sign a spending bill. In other words, disagreements between the executive and legislative branches over the federal budget. These disagreements can stem from various factors, such as disagreements over spending levels, policy priorities, or controversial issues. During a shutdown, non-essential federal employees may be furloughed or temporarily laid off, while essential employees, often classified as accepted, such as military service members, law enforcement agents, and air traffic controllers, continue to work without pay. These employees are legally required to be compensated for their work during a shutdown, even if funding is not immediately available. But how does all of these impact you? One of the most significant consequences of a government shutdown is the impact on federal employees, but it also affects individuals and businesses that rely on government services. For example, many government agencies and departments may be forced to furlough non-essential employees, leading to a disruption in services such as passport processing, national parks closures, delayed tax refunds, and limited access to government websites and resources. Social Security benefits are generally not impacted by government shutdowns. However, if a government shutdown persists for an extended period, it could potentially become a concern for Social Security beneficiaries. Additionally, delayed government contracts, disrupted regulatory processes, and decreased consumer confidence can have broader economic repercussions as this trickles down, creating economic hardship for businesses and their employees. But one of the scariest implications of government shutdowns is national security concerns. A government shutdown can disrupt the operations of the Department of Defense and the military. It can lead to reduced training exercises, maintenance delays for equipment, and hindered readiness, potentially compromising the nation's defense capabilities. National security relies on intelligence gathering activities carried out by agencies such as the CIA and FBI. A shutdown can impact these agencies' operations, potentially affecting the ability to gather critical intelligence on threats, not to mention delayed troop paychecks causing financial hardship for military personnel. This not only affects their morale, but also their ability to support their families. The specific agencies and services affected by a government shutdown depend on the details of the funding legislation in effect at the time. To prevent or resolve government shutdowns, lawmakers often pass temporary funding measures known as stopgap or continuing resolutions. These measures provide short-term funding to keep the government operational while budget negotiations continue. However, relying on these temporary solutions can lead to recurring cycles of funding crises and uncertainty. Bipartisan collaboration is key to preventing this situation, and lawmakers must find sustainable solutions for stable governance in the United States. Don't miss out on any of our future videos. Click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we upload new content. Thanks for watching.